How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the TNA Bodies Post Show. As always, I'm joined by my good friend Io. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Had a very nice, less stressful week. I mean, outside with the weather here in the east. I'm sure, my fellows under here can relate. This has been a good weather for present east side, but I'm doing good.
They saying it's a storm. They saying it's a storm coming.
It's gonna get worse, sir. From what I hear.
Storm coming this week. The grocery stores, man, they saying it's a storm this week. Every grocery store I've been to, they out of milk and bread. What the hell?
A storm is coming.
And you heard those two gentlemen's voices. This show tonight's TNA was stacked, but our show is also stacked. I'm joined by my good friend Cam. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be here. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. We've been meaning to do this for some time, so I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
TNA. I'm be honest. I thought this was a much better effort than last week. I thought this should have been the show last week. I thought this was a much better effort than last week. Still some things that, I wish TNA would have done this week, especially to get some newer fans coming in, especially considering the fact that this is their first time on a major television network since Spike TV. No disrespect to Pop and Anthem. No disrespect to Pop TV and Destination America and all the other television networks TNA has had previous, but I think it's safe to say AMC is the biggest network they've been on since Spike TV. Yeah. So I still think it's some things that they could have done and that they should have done to get more people coming back for next week. But overall tonight, that show is a lot better than last week. So there you go.
I couldn't agree more with you. I completely agree with more with you. And yeah, going back to your point about AMC, like, yeah, you could argue when they were on Spike TV, Spike was pretty much in their prime. Like, they had the UFC on there, or the Ultimate Fighter. They had a lot of eyes on them. But the pedigree of AMC, even though it might not be what they have been with, you don't have as many shows that are as well known at this point. It's still AMC. And before we start,
it's home to like award-winning series and all that stuff. Like it comes with a pedigree. So like they, so to speak, it's not like they're just kind of joining some upstart network or so. But yeah, I mean, like I agree with everything Cam says and stuff. Like like throughout the hurdles and stuff, like it felt like tonight. And I was saying this to you guys a few minutes ago. It felt like their backs were against the wall, so to speak, for tonight. Like, obviously, the way things went down in last week's episode, and then obviously the results, the viewership results out of that and stuff. But it felt like they needed to kind of like remind fans, so to speak, like who they are and like why they're at this position. Like it was like basically like kind of show everyone like it wasn't a fluke just getting back onto AMC or even getting all these success from last year and whatnot and stuff. So I felt like we're on their path. So like completely. Yeah, I mean also like considering like they're on a new home, it's gonna take time to kind of grow that AMC audience. And I think I got faith there.
Exactly. It's week to week, and I think we'll definitely see, especially when you're just looking at like, I guess like the AMC numbers, the cable numbers. I think they will be much higher than last week. And before we get started with everything, I just want to introduce our fourth guest. A lot of people might know him from the old TNA Power Ranking days. There you go. Yeah. It's our good friend. I think he's been on the show before. Lucha, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's happening, y'all? How we doing? How we living?
What's up, man?
See the old TNA IW logo up there. Shout out to our bestie Jeff.
And real quick, I just want to thank Datia behind the scenes. She just kind of improved the layout for us. So thank you, Datia. It's much crisper now. Oh, we got Mike in the chat.
Yeah, we live from the treehouse, Mike G. Yo, shouts out Mike G. Shout out Jeff. Shout out to the squad.
All right, before we get into the actual show, I kind of want to, especially since we saw him pop up on the show tonight, what kind of a whirlwind wrestling free agency? We at one point we think the Rascals have departed. It looks like that for 3. Some stuff happened with Trey where he wasn't able to sign, but then it did not take much. It did not take that much longer that long for Trey to pop back up in TNA, and I think TNA fans are glad to have him. The circumstances, it might not have been the best of things, but it worked out, I think, for TNA fans' favor. But let me get your all's opinion. I'll start with you, Io. What do you think about this?
Oh, man. Well, prior to that, I was getting ready to just kind of rant and be in a rage over what the situation. So as it turns out that Trey he was signed by AEW along with the other Rascals, but apparently he was released, and then as most reported, it wasn't a Tony Khan call, and I figured it was Warner Brothers Discovery call based on Trey's past comments that he's numerous times regretted doing. I won't go into the full detail. Kind of similar to the Jay Briscoe situation that prevented him coming into AEW, and it's just kind of sad because Trey is one of the nicest great people and awesome. And it just kind of broke my heart. I know, it just kind of broke my heart. Man, he can't certain things that just kind of come back to you, so to speak. So I was kind of upset for the guy, and I couldn't imagine how the other 3 were feeling. But for at least until today, some prior to Impact episode, it's a little lights in the end of the tunnel. TNA was talking with Trey, and I figured, I'm sure, get the dude back, because not only obviously he's part of the family, because also he's also very talented guy. Out of all of the 4 Rascals, I think he's the more talented, in my opinion. Of course, we all remembered his X Division title reigns and how that was cool. So leading up to tonight, I was beyond happy and stoked. We'll get into that. So
Io, that run, especially when he came back to TNA after this happened, when Dez and Wentz went to NXT and then Trey came back. I swear for 2 months, this dude was winning matches with a different move, and they were all fucking lethal. So looking forward to this being the part 2 of that run has me pretty stoked. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold. I kind of, being a wrestling fan that thinks they know everything like we all are, I expected Trey to be back. Maybe not this soon, but shit, we here, and I know this run is going to be something special. I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cam, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm very happy Trey Miguel is back. I'm very happy Trey Miguel is back. I was very disappointed to hear that, TNA let the Rascals go. I don't know if it was their call. I don't know if it was a TNA call to not let the Rascals, or if the money AEW got them, because if we're just being honest here, AEW can offer more money than TNA can. But I don't. So it really broke. So I thought it was really bad for TNA when I heard that the Rascals were going to AEW. To be quite honest with you, I'm TNA. To be quite honest with you, I'm TNA. Me and AEW would have been. We would have had some words, man. We would have been in some big wars or something. Look here. Look here. Y'all can take 2 or 3 of them. I'll be damned if I let y'all take all 4. You know what I mean?
I'm the same thing. How are you gonna take all 4 and you're gonna find plans for them here?
Exactly. Somebody got to stay here. Y'all can take 2 or 3. I'll be damned if I let y'all take all 4. I'll be damned. We would have been fighting. So I'm glad Trey Miguel's back with TNA. It shocked me when I saw him tonight, but I'm very happy he's back. And I like these kind of signings at TNA. I like to see more. I like to see more of these free agent signings. They got Bear Bronson tonight too, which we're obviously going to get into. But I got a whole list of talent that I would like to see TNA sign. Hopefully they do sign, because I got a whole list of talent I would like to see TNA sign. Hopefully they do sign. Because,
I got one name on my list. Zilla motherfucking Fatu.
You got Zilla on your list. Okay.
That's all I got.
Hey, do y'all mind if I run down my list real quick of what I'd like to see TNA sign?
No worries. Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. Calvin Tankman. I've been preaching the sign Calvin Tankman thing for a long ass time. I don't know why he has not been signed by any company at this point.
Same.
But Calvin Tankman has been on my list for a while. Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee. I'd love to see him back in TNA. Ashanti the Adonis. Get outside Ashanti. Get outside. He's putting the move in front of the
I got another name, Cam. I think you're like Alex Kane.
Hey, bring in Alex Kane. I'd love to see Alex Kane in. Riley Osborne, I think would be a great fit for that X division. I'd love to see him come in. Dijak, I don't know. Dijak. Oro Mensah, I know he made a Ring of Honor appearance recently, but I don't know if he signed or not. If he's not, Oro Mensah is a name I'd love to see them sign. Leon Ruff. Giovanni Vinci. I forgot his old name, but Giovanni Vinci, Fabian, I can know whatever his name is. I'd love to see him sign. Duke Hudson's another one. Tom Lawler. The former Bert, I'm sorry I have to do this to you. The former Baron Corbin, I think he's going by Tom Peacock now. I would like to see TNA take a chance on him. I was really enjoying the work he was doing with the Wolf Dog before he got cut. So I would like to see TNA sign him. Stu Grayson and Alan Angels are another names I think they should sign. And then for women, I have Rachel Rose, who I don't know how she hasn't been signed at all. Rachel Rose, Alex Gracia, Brittany Brooks. Her boyfriend works for TNA. Chris Bay. I don't know why I ain't thought about Brittany Brooks in. And Mia Priestley, whenever she can be signed. I think she bring back to Stardom. But whenever Mia Priestley can be signed, I think she'd be a fine fit. But those are some of the names I would like to see TNA sign. But outside of that, yeah.
A couple names I would add to that. Like and yeah, I love the Alex Kane mention. It sucks. Before he retired, I kept saying Kevin Blackwood. That I definitely think that he would have fit TNA. Adam Priest is another guy. You know what? Like I said it before, if I don't understand why they are not signing everybody from DPW and at least bringing them in for a tryout. Like, are you like that place was like loaded with talent. You know what I mean? Like they should at least be taking a look at like all of those people, because if they're not signed by the big two, I don't know why they're not in TNA. And real quick, just before we move on the Trey thing, I think it's kind of a little bit of an addition by subtraction in the way that, yes, losing the Rascals is a huge, huge blow. But how you mentioned, like, one, not taking all of them, and then Io's point, like how he was the most talented in his eyes, and I tend to agree with you. And so now I think it's right back where they started, because after that X Division run, I was like, it's time for this guy to move up. So let's not make this mistake they did with Ace by letting him go before they moved him up and not pushing him quick. Let's push him down. Like, let's move Trey into that main event. Don't put him in the X Division right away. Let's move this guy up. You know what I mean? Like, because they need the main event scene is a little thin right now. So, you know what I mean? Because it's like they weren't doing a lot with the Rascals. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with Trey now. It's just a solo act again. Yeah, real quick, I just want to read. Sorry, Joe. We've been there with Gresham. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry that they pulled that octopus storyline, but there's a ton of guys, and no disrespect, that can wrestle really well. You know what I mean? I need more. I'm not the first one to say that, but yeah, Gresham's a no for me.
Nah, I feel like we can run it back with Gresham. You know what I'm saying? We know where we went wrong.
Yeah.
I'm down with running
maybe
back.
put him in a faction or something where he doesn't really have to talk much. He can just
Give him a
just
tag
do his
team.
thing. But yeah.
Give him a tag partner and let him and his tag partner like run through the tag division.
Oh, and why Richard Holiday is not in TNA is beyond me. He very
Why Richard Holiday in any company?
It's not too late. I mean, it's reported there are some talent who are actually on the same with you guys, like trying to get Holiday. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's also one more thing. There's one guy who wasn't on the show tonight, but he did post like a random tweet out of nowhere, so to speak, and that's Matt Taven. What's your guys' take on him, real quick, or so? As we're all familiar with his work in Ring of Honor and stuff, so like, okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Taven, but if they sign him, I think that'd be a good sign. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Taven, but I think that would be a very good sign. And again, shout out to Matt Taven. He gave me a photo one time outside of collision, even though I got his name wrong. I said, even though I got his name wrong, and he remembered, but he was still cool enough to give me a photo. So shout out to Matt Taven. But again, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but if he were to sign, I think that would be a very good sign for TNA. I'm not going to. I think that's a very good sign. Those are the types of names TNA should be going at. However, I don't know who's in their talent relations department. You got all this talent available out here. I would like, can y'all sign them before AEW, WWE snatch them up? Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what TNA's.
You can pick it up with the innovator and Violet himself, who is a part of talent relations.
To be honest with you, that's fine. Yeah. To be honest with you, and no disrespect to him, and first off, yeah, I would much rather have Taven than Bennett. You know what I mean? That Miracle shit sucked. But let me just say that Matt Taven, I think that him to TNA makes the most sense because I don't see him going back to AEW and I don't see him going to WWE. So I don't see why that one, if we don't get him, I just don't know. It's like, that seems like a big miss to me because it just seems to really fit. And I think Matt Taven on his own is a really good, a solid heel. So I think TNA really do need to get him because they're lacking heels right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get into tonight's show because, again, this was a complete 180 from last week's. And I wouldn't call it a debacle, but I don't think it was their best, and that's putting it politely. Tonight's show opened up with an absolute banger, and now when we're looking at it in retrospect, because after what transpired in the main event, this match is very telling. But it was Cedric Alexander taking on Moose. And, you know, I really like this from bell to bell. It's like, this is how you open up this is how you open up a TV show. You want a quick match that's going to get people out of their seats. And this did it. Cam, I'll start with you. What'd you think about this one?
I can't comment because I didn't see the opener. I tuned into TNA. When I turned on TNA, it was in the middle of the Mike Sanchez promo. So I missed the Cedric and Moose stuff, but I knew what was going to happen in the main event. As soon as he came out, sorry if I'm getting ahead of myself, but I knew what was going to happen in the main event. We'll talk about that later. But I've been a wrestling fan. Yeah, I'm 24. I've been a wrestling fan for about 20 years. Okay, I know what turn is coming. I know when the turn is coming. You can't fool me. So we can talk about, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go to you, Luke. What do you think about this? This was fast paced and just, you know what I mean? There was not a bad dry moment in the match, but what did you think about this one?
See, this is how episode of TNA Impact should be started with, like, good fast-paced X Division action. You know what I'm saying? You got Ced, the known cruiserweight, the known guy from WWE, Moose, big dude, franchise of TNA, but he's like, he can keep up with those X Division cats too. This is a former X Division champion we're talking about. So that was good. You know, a TNA show / pay-per-view is going to be good when you get a good X Division opening. So this was right along those lines of that whole formula. So yeah, good match for me.
Yeah, it was like open up a Nitro with a cruiserweight match. This was good shit. All right, what about you?
Yeah, spot on. Like it's fitting. Like if you're gonna put on a TNA show, you got to have like some sort of X Division vibe. And unfortunately, we didn't get that last week. Yep, and two guys, who are very well rounded. Cedric, former cruiserweight champion, Moose, the franchise. Been enjoying the chemistry between these two, especially from the Genesis pay-per-view with including Hendry. So it was good to kind of bring a continuation, because both guys, as from my understanding, are still owed X Division title shots, which we'll find out another time. But this was nice to kind of like kick off. Yeah, basically this was just basically to kick off the show, because prior folks were kind of asking for more, like basically kind of asking for more out of this card. I'm glad they kind of did this last minute as a way to kind of bring more viewers in. So yeah, it all worked out well for 20 minutes. Great thing.
I feel like sorry, I said this before we went live. I guess I'll kind of try to go on it a little bit. I kind of feel like last week's episode needed to happen in order for us to get this week. Because, I mean, yes, it's the debut, but I felt like with them having to also promote the pay-per-view and wrap up some stories from last year, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot you serving too many masters there, because you're trying to wrap up what you've been working on. You know what I'm saying? You got the debut, so you got to show what it is. And then you got travel issues, so you got a remix. So it's crazy. So with them actually being able to start fresh off the pay-per-view and, really get up on the good foot, I think this was a real good episode overall. So yeah, last week kind of had to happen for us to get what we got.
Exactly. Like I think they needed to, I don't think we shouldn't have expected it to be perfect. So, but I would think this week's episode was as close to perfect as they could be. So, much better try than last week. Okay, we'll move on to what I would say is the kind of promo that you want to hear from the world champion. And it was Mike Santana's promo. And this was a money promo. Man, this guy's just been cutting nothing but these types of promos since he came back to TNA. And I never really thought about the idea of Mike Santana like solo, but this guy proves me wrong every time he's out there. Like, this guy is a star, like, on his own. So yeah, I loved everything. This guy's definitely been one of the guys carrying TNA, and I think everything he said really rings true. Like, he earned everything he's got in TNA, and I love every minute of this. What do you think, Io?
Yeah, this was it was a great way to kind of like basically redo. I'm like we were at this similar thing back when he won it for Bound for Glory, cut the promo, and obviously what happened later on that night. But this is a nice way for kind of like say like for his way of saying like, hey, we did it, guy, like we did it, like, and you guys ride behind me even when I was at my lowest and and stuff, and take nothing away from Frankie, heck of a competitor, and all that stuff. Yeah, basically this was kind of Santana finally smelling the roses, so to speak, that now that he can rightfully take his mantle as as the head of the throne, no pun intended. And what I like is he also gave a shout out to AJ Styles, the phenomenal one himself. Apparently, that according to him, the keys are now his. So yeah, not only he regained the belt, but also he gotten the blessing. He's also gotten the blessing for the phenomenal one, and it's just things are looking high for Mike right now and stuff.
Hopefully, we're blessed with a match from the phenomenal one in TNA because, real quick, just before I let everyone else go, at first I was like, I don't know if I necessarily see that. You know what I mean? AJ's been in TNA before, but he's been there, done that. Even though I loved his time there, he's the franchise. Now these crowds being so hot as they are, and TNA being as hot as it is, I definitely want to see AJ have at least one more match back in TNA. All right, we'll go to you, Luke. What do you think about the segment?
I kind of I kind of appreciate the beauty of kind of comparing, not 100%, but kind of comparing TNA's journey and Santana's journey to get where both of them are and how there's some similarities and stuff. Because you look at how Mike saying with the loss at Slammiversary, you know what I'm saying? People will look to Slammiversary as a loss in terms of you kept the TNA title on the NXT guy. You know what I'm saying? And people were clowning TNA for that. He gets it at Bound for Glory. Everything's great at Bound for Glory 30. Everybody's like, yeah, TNA's, you know what I'm saying? TNA had another home run show. Boom. 30 days later, dropped the ball, when they had Santana lose the belt the way he did. And then the whole journey getting back to where we are now. Santana's the champ, TNA on AMC, and everybody, they're on that, like Santana said, back against the wall, and that's where he's comfortable. And I feel like that was kind of, in a way, the promo for the TNA fans to know, hey, TNA, we still fighting. It's way too soon to be writing, that's all. So I kind of appreciated the beauty in that.
What about you, Cam? What'd you think about that? Did you see this one part, Cam?
I did see this part. First off, Mike Santana, I'm very happy for Mike Santana. I really am. I really am happy for Mike Santana. I really am. I remember when Mike Santana left AEW. I remember when Mike Santana left AEW. I want to say it was either 2022 or 2020. I don't even. I think it's 2020. I remember when Santana left AEW, and a lot of people, clowned on him for leaving AEW because he wanted to take a bet on himself. It was like, I'm better than I'm better than working Rampage and Clip. I'm out of here. And I'm glad that he's been able to find his footing in TNA. Mike Santana comes off as just a star. He comes off as an absolute star whenever he's out there. He comes off as an absolute star whenever he's out there. And I really do hope TNA is able to keep him for a long time. I really do. I really hope he's not one of those names that WWE is going to snatch up. WWE is going to snatch up once his contract. I really hope he's one of those names that. TNA, that WWE is just not going to throw on NXT. It's not just going to throw on NXT because fuck you, TNA. Because fuck you, TNA. We're going to. I really hope Mike Santana is not one of those. I really hope he's not. I thought this was a hot promo. Exactly the kind of promo you want to hear from your world champion. I thought this was a very hot promo. He had the crowd in the palm of his hands. He had the crowd in the palm of his hands, which I like. Only thing about this segment. He mentioned how he got the approval from AJ Styles. It was like, this is. I really wish last week they would have done that. They would have done the segment with Mike Santana and AJ last week. But AJ Styles basically, I know Mike Santana was wrestling for the world title in the main event, but I really wish that they had AJ. Maybe they had AJ last week. I really wish they had AJ come out last week. And basically, what Mike Santana said, how Mike Santana was like, AJ gave me the keys. This is my company now. I wish they would have done that last week. But AJ looks at the crowd and is like, that guy right there. Hey, I was Mr. TNA while I was here. He's Mr. TNA now. The company's in good hands because y'all got him. I wish they would have done that last week. But outside of that, Great segment for Mike Santana. Mike Santana continues to be, in my opinion, the best thing on TNA television. He should be the world champion as is. And I hope that he's around for a very long time. I hope Mike Santana is around for.
Not only that, I wish they switch AJ and Bully on commentary. Like, yeah, that would like everything you're saying. Like that, it would have been better if AJ was on commentary and they kind of gave him the blessing there. And real quick to add on to what Cam mentioned, yeah, and when he was in AEW, when Santana was cutting his own promos, so to speak, I noticed this dude had a lot of potential. Like a lot of potential, so to speak, as a singles. Even when he was in LAX, he felt like he was the one. You kind of get like Homicide vibes, and obviously, yeah, that's his mentor, Homicide vibes out of him. Like, he's the pit bull, like ready to kind of like ready to go to the first guy to go to war at mentality, so to speak. And then and after everything that went down, people did clown on him. Yeah, people did clown on him. Apparently, you're not allowed to take a chance on yourself according to AEW, sickos. But I'm glad that it didn't take long for him to kind of like prove his doubters wrong, prove his supporters right, and look where he is now. He's
Sorry, I'll continue.
Oh, no. No, I was saying he's a made man. Yeah, first Puerto Rican TNA World Champion. Yeah.
Who's to say if AEW didn't just ride with it and let him take a chance and be a singles guy where he'd be now? I definitely think he would have been one of their top guys. But I'm glad he's in TNA. And yeah, to Cam's point, they really got to lock him down. These are the kind of guys that could be, men and women you should be building a company around. You let the other pieces fall. But yeah, you should definitely lock down your top talent, especially when you're in the best position to do so, and they should be doing that now. After this, we kind of got like a little quick backstage segment. And
TNA. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Hey, TNA, give Mike Santana the Supermax. Give him the Supermax. Give him 4 years. And give him 4 years. $238 million. So go ahead and give him those. Just go ahead and give him those.
With a player option.
He might not be a Supermax. He might not be a Supermax player, but for your franchise, he is a Supermax player.
Exactly.
He might not be a Supermax, the WWE, AEW, but to your franchise, he is a Supermax player. So I need you to go ahead and lock him down. Go ahead and sign him to a Supermax. It's like fucking it's like, okay, take the fucking Charlotte Hornet, for example, okay? LaMelo Ball on like 30, LaMelo Ball, 9 of the teams in the league might not be a Supermax player. But damn it, he's a Supermax player for the Hornets. So you got to lock him up. Damn it, he's a Supermax player for the Hornets. So you got to lock him up. Mike Santana might not be a Supermax on their level, but Mike Santana, he is a Supermax player on TNA level. Lock him up. Give him the Supermax. Yeah. Bowie, the conversation with Mike Santana should literally go like this. Hey, Mike Santana, how much you want? Okay, done. There you go. That's how the negotiations should go. All right, go ahead, Billy.
Next, well said. Next, we'll move on to just a little quick backstage segment, and I love this exchange because, while Ali, it's obviously Order 4 with Gia, and she's just trying to get a little bit of his thoughts on the main event with with Jeff Hardy, and I love this. He politely asked Gia to shut the hell up. While that was a very dick move, at least he politely asked. You know what I mean? But I think Order 4, especially, I don't know, man, they just look so next level since they've moved to AMC. But this group, man, again, we've talked about it. They really need to go all in on these guys, especially now that the Rascals are no longer. This should only even solidify that these guys should be the top faction. But Lucha, we'll start with you. What do you think about this?
Well, to comment on your top faction, what I'm saying, considering how the show ended, there might be another faction in that conversation.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm gonna be honest. When this segment was happening, I was outside getting my DoorDash. I ordered Wingstop, So I
That's
did
okay.
not see it. All I did see was Ali telling Gia to shut the hell up, which popped me from outside.
Yeah.
But no, I do agree with you though. If the show didn't, oh shit, hold on. If the show didn't end the way it did, then they would be the top faction.
It's hard to argue. Yeah, I might have spoke too soon on that one. Yeah, and we're gonna finish with that. Cam, what about you? What did you think about just this little quick segment with Ali in Order 4?
Did they promote Ali and Jeff Hardy as the main event tonight? Like, was that promoted?
Not until like an hour before.
That's something that should have been promoted. I don't know if they had the show written last week, if the show was if they just hastily. I don't know if they had the show written last week or if they do what most college kids do. If they do what most college kids do, it's just this assignment you do at 11:59. I'm gonna work on this assignment at 10. I'm gonna work on this assignment at 11. That's some bullshit. But I don't know how long ago this show was written, but if Hardy and Ali, if they knew Hardy and Ali was gonna be the main event, this is something they should have promoted. Like, this is something they should have promoted. Jeff Hardy still has the name. Jeff Hardy still has name value. He still has recognition. He still. I don't care what people say. People love Jeff Hardy. If you tell people Jeff Hardy's going to be on the show, they're more than likely going to tune in. Because when I heard Ali and Jeff Hardy was the main event, I was like, oh shit! I was like, okay, TNA. I was like, okay, TNA. I like this TNA. Okay. So I think this is something they should have promoted in advance. To be quite honest with you. But again, I don't know how long. I don't know how long they let the show for. So.
What about you, Isle?
Yeah, this is Mustafa at his finest. Talking down to Gia and kind of basically talking down the crowd favorites and stuff. He did that with Elijah, and now trying to talk down to the Jeff Hardy supporters. Overall, Mustafa is great. Like we just gotta. Wait for Bird again. We just gotta
I can't hear you.
Say it again. Oh, okay. So like we just gotta give the man his flowers, because he's on top of his game right now, with Mustafa. And Bird mentioned that we have some dominant groups right now. Order 4, the new system, which we'll get into later. Also, also a group that we're gonna get into in a few minutes, the Elegance brand. You gotta give them their props. They're doing well. I mean, it'd be fair to say, I would say they would have made a good candidate for Faction of the Year last year. But Mustafa, this is Mustafa at his finest.
I'm glad you mentioned the Elegance brand, because talk about. Oh, looks like we lost Cam. We'll get him back. Talking about a faction that I think just kind of, I wouldn't even say that they were in a lull point, but man, they seem to be back at full force. Sorry, we have Cam back with us. Yes, this match we had Indy Hartwell taking on M by Elegance. And man, let me just say, M is just improving with every match. Like they found another gem. Like she's very good. And while I'm not seeing the growth I would like match to match, I was hoping from Indy, she didn't look bad in this match. It was interesting that they had Indy win, just because I thought that the M are the tag team champions. We don't like. It's always weird when you have the tag team champions, one of the members losing a singles match. I really don't like that, especially when it happens a lot, which it does tend to in TNA. I immediately like this ending because we got like another swerve that turned out to be a great swerve. With it looks like Ash could be back. This was awesome. And let me just say, Isle, we always point this out, why I love having you as a co-host, because you always can change my mind really quickly, make me see the light. I wasn't feeling Mr. Elegance, but between his mannerisms on the outside of the ring to the way that he helped out and do his backstage, this guy's really good. And I don't know where they found this guy, but he fits perfectly with this group. What did you think about all this? Because to me, it was more about the finish and what happened after. Like, I could give a shit now that Indy won. You know what I mean? Like, the Elegance brand is kind of like back.
Let me just say, Shane in the chat is very funny. He said Indy is like a giraffe on skates.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. M Maggie Lee and Bioga. Yeah, she's good too. I think her and Hedda really found their foot in here with this group. Like their confidence is up at another level. Like, and Mr. Elegance, as you mentioned. I'm still trying to get used to him, I would say to speak. Like, I know we mentioned like we felt like that could have gone to other names, but I mean at the end, if someone's gonna be Mr. Elegance, it has to be someone who's kind of like the male version of the girls, so to speak. And we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's good. I'm pretty sure he's good in the ring, obviously. But I mean, my thing is, yeah, he just needs to like lower down the taunts and whatnot. But yeah, we'll talk about him later. But yeah, the bigger picture, yeah, decent match. Yeah, Indy got the win, whatever. But yeah, the main picture was what happened after, and this kind of, I'll tell you, I did not see this coming. Like, okay, like during the match, yeah, Ash was kind of not approving like the Elegance brand's tactics. Like during the match, it seemed like she was kind of babyface for a bit, and then after that, and then telling them to stop attacking Indy, and then it seemed like they were going to turn on her, and then once the Angel Warriors come down, and then then when it seemed like it was all even out, and then I kind of figure, and then figure, oh shit, Ash is getting physical, and that kind of shocked me. I'm like, oh wow, she's getting physical, like a DDT and all that stuff, and then I'm like, could this be like, is she finally did it like, I mean, because like, you know, she had to retire a few months back and stuff. So I'm wondering, is this a sign? Is she back, medically cleared or whatnot? I guess not. I mean,
yeah, you have to wonder if that's like what they're kind of trying to build up. You know what I mean? Because she definitely got a little more physical than she has been, and obviously, yeah, you alluded to, she did have to retire at one point. So,
oh, sorry. Two things I'll say that definitely she's back with the fold. Like, we'll be seeing her a lot more on segments or whatever. We'll spoil remain. And two, I'm feeling very confident that they're retaining the tag titles, because you know their upcoming opponents are NXT's Soruka and Zarya. So I think I feel pretty good they're going to retain the titles.
Yeah.
So how you feel about the chances that Ash wins the knockout title though?
It can happen. Because I mean, usually, because she never really lost the title. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the division's kind of stacked. Like, Danny Luna, you know, she's on the rise right now. They just brought in Elena Black, which we'll get into later. Laying Lee, she's a very, very solid champion right now. Never say never, I'll say, for Ash's part, but who knows? If she's back, you know, that's good, but just because you're back, that'll mean things resume to the way you left them. That's how to say it. So that's just how it is.
Cam, sorry, now Cam, I know you were in the chat. You had mentioned that you're not the biggest Elegance brand fan, and before I let you go, let me just say that I think Ash does deserve a lot of credit, because you know what I mean. Like, from whatever it was, maybe just WWE not seeing like the potential, and I'm not saying like Ash is the greatest, but she's really worked to become like the best version she was before she had to retire the belt. But
I will say this about Ash by Elegance, to give her credit. When she got released by WWE, she was a name that I was hoping TNA would pick up because I had no idea if she even had legitimate interest in wrestling. But she was a name that I hoped TNA would pick up because I saw her steadily improving in like matches on main event, things like that. I just don't think she ever had a legit opportunity because she got placed in the ceiling. She got obviously placed in the ceiling in WWE where it's like you're an enhancement talent going to be used to get other talent over. So when she signed with TNA, I was happy for her that she signed with TNA. And I will give credit to her. TNA has used her a lot better than WWE had. TNA has used her a lot better than WWE has, and she's found a nice little footing on that roster. So I will give that to Ash. I will give that to Ash by Elegance. But I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the Elegance brand, and I'm not a fan of Ash by Elegance in general. I'm sorry. I like Maggie. I like Maggie by Elegance. I like Kevin by Elegance. I like those two. I really wish TNA would just drop the Elegance brand stuff and either just try those women out of singles or just keep them in the tag team division because they obviously have tag titles, so you're going to need people for the tag team division. Keep them in the tag. Keep them in the tag division, but just drop the Elegance brand stuff. I am not a fan of the Elegance brand stuff. I thought last week was one of the worst. I thought last week with them was one of the worst segments I've ever seen on American Wrestling television. It's just, to me, they come off as like very beautiful people, right? And Maggie and Heather, they're better than Velvet Sky and Angelina in the ring. I will say that. They're better in-ring workers than Velvet Sky and Angelina Love ever were. I will give them that. But I prefer Velvet and Angelina because at least they have the character thing down pat. It's just, I'm not a fan of the Elegance brand. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't think, I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't think, yeah, I'm not a fan of the Elegance brand. I'm not a fan of their butler, the conciliary, or whatever. I mean, whatever his name is, I'm not a fan of him, the butler.
The concierge.
The concierge. I'm not a fan of him. Mr. Elegance. I'm gonna let this. He just debuted, so I'm gonna give this time to play out. But first 2 weeks, I haven't really been that big of a fan. It's just I'm not a fan of the Elegance brand. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wish they would drop the. I wish they would drop the Elegance brand stuff. And like the post show, and like the post match angle, because I figured in the post match angle, where Lean Lee came out and Zaya Brookside came out. Because I was first watching it, I thought, oh shit, they about to boot Ash out. Like, is Indy about to come up? Is like Indy about to like help Ash? And then once, I was like, is Indy about to help Ash? And then once Lee and Zaya Brookside came out, I knew what was gonna happen. I was like, wow, I knew what was gonna happen. I was like, well, this is a swerve. Ash is about to beat the fuck. Well, this is where they about to beat the fuck out the baby faces. So I knew that was happening. But I'm not gonna lie. Ash, if she is medically clear, I don't know what's going on with her. Hopefully she can get medically clear. I'm not a fan of her, but hopefully she can get medically clear. And but if their big plan or like their big program is to do Ash and Elena Black as the next two like challengers, or like to set those women up as big contenders in 2026 for the Knockouts title, I'm not a fan of it. And again, I know they can't do what I know they can't do. And again, I know they can't do what they need to do with Dani Luna right now because she obviously has visa issues. But when Dani Luna comes back, that should be the woman that should be the one that wins the Knockouts title, Dani Luna. So like, I know they can't do what they need to do with Dani right now because she obviously has visa issues. Hopefully she can get those resolved. But if the plan is to build Elena Black and Ash by Elegance, if she is cleared up as challengers for the Knockouts title in 2026, respectfully, I'm good. Respectfully, I'm good. Respectfully on that, I'm good.
What about you, Lucha? What did you think about this? Though, just everything, the match, the post match segment. Are you an Elegance brand fan? What you like? What you didn't like?
The first place my brain went was what I brought up to Io, as far as chances she gets the strap back, because who knows, what I'm saying, with what's going on with travel and all this stuff. Who knows when we'll get Danny back? So we gotta get something popping off and on the way. You know, something cooking. So maybe Ash does get her strap back. Maybe she at least gets the title fight at was it No Surrender? That's what's coming up.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That's where I was. As far as how I feel about the Elegance brand, I actually rock with them. They're perfect heels. Like, I ain't got nothing to say. They're just perfect heels. So I'm rocking with him. The personal concierge, he is a asshole, and I love it.
I'll just say this, to add up to respond to Cam, so to speak, like in a division or so to speak where you got to stand out, like at least they kind of found a foot, and I'm talking mostly about Heather and Maggie, but I kind of get your take too. So I mean, I wouldn't say like I would say there's kind of like an opportunity for them to kind of elevate depending on wherever they go after, you know. So like put it like thinking it that way, so to speak, like being in the group is kind of like them to launch them. I mean, who knows how long this group's gonna last, but
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely agree though. Ultimately, that they found their footing with this group, and it works, especially when it works in TNA. So, okay, before we move on to the next segment, I just want to remind everyone that this week's podcast is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made up of not psychedelics, 4 powerful mushroom adaptions. As lines moves increases focus, memory, and neuroplasticity, making it easier to form new patterns, learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn that new move, and it might actually stick in your head rather than forgetting it immediately. It has cordyceps to increases VO2 max, blood flow, and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which boosts your immune system. We all know you're going to need that when you're on those nasty-ass gym mats. On top of that, it has 12 grams of protein. Go to eatshroombar.com and use code BODYSLAM, and you'll get 25% off your first order. Okay. And like I said, this show just kept on rolling. And for the first time, and next we're going to move into the Feast or Fired. And I think for the first time in a long time, I really enjoyed this match. I'm a little nervous about some of the briefcase holders, and I would have got it over with who won them. But we had Eric Young.
You worried about your cousin, ain't you?
Yes, we had Eric Young, Steve Macklin, Eddie Edwards. We also had Hometown Man Rich Swann, AJ Francis, John Schuyler, Jason Hodge, Brian Myers, Ryan Nemeth, and the returning Trey Miguel, which this was huge. I think we all popped as TNA fans. What a blessing, what a negative circumstance that turned out to be a blessing. He's back in TNA. And yeah, Luch, I'll start with you. You kind of alluded to it. Yeah, I am nervous because, as you know, Steve Macklin did get one of the briefcases, and we've kind of saw everyone speculating from, I believe he deleted TNA from his bio. I don't really read too much into that, but I would have preferred, what would have made me feel better is if breaking news, Steve Macklin has signed a long-term deal, because I definitely think he should be a TNA guy for the rest of his career. But Luch, I'll start with you. What do you think about just this match, about the briefcase winners, just everything?
All right, while I'm doing my talking, go in his room and like grab the briefcase and see what it is. No,
yeah,
so
okay, I'll do that.
Bet, and let us know. This will be a scoop. We got this. We're relying on you.
Okay.
No, it was an entertaining Feast or Fire. It was very chaotic. I was with all the chaos. I'm not gonna lie. I have how Cam feels about against Brand is kind of how I feel about the Hometown Man, even though like it's over like a motherfucker, and I hate it, and I hate that it's over. So I kind of wanted him to get fired. So when he got the case, I was like, oh shit, Hometown Man's about to get fired. We outside. then fucking EY comes and snatches the mask off. So now I feel like as revenge for costing me and countless others the satisfaction of hometown man getting the pink slip, I think I'm gonna say EY is getting fired. But I feel like this is all gonna be a part of the cleanse.
Yeah, I could see that, and if that does happen, finally something interesting. But it's just one more thing to stall this whole thing, and because it really hasn't went anywhere. So I guess technically that it would be going somewhere if that was the case. But what about you, Cam? What'd you think about this segment? All right,
He was hoping for hometown man to get that briefcase. I was hoping for Ryan Nimitz to get that briefcase, boy.
Wait.
I was like, please get that briefcase, Ryan. Boy, I was in here cheering for Ryan Nimitz, boy. This is the only time I've ever wanted Ryan Nimitz to ever win something. I was cheering for him, boy. I was hoping he got that briefcase. I was like, please grab it. Get it. Get that briefcase. Get it. And then he got the briefcase, and then once he didn't get the briefcase, I was so sad. I was like, dang. Because, boy, I wanted Ryan Nimitz to get that briefcase. I had that pink slip in it, bro. And, bro, man, dang. Shit. But
I was wondering why Ryan wasn't in this match. I'm like, come on.
But overall, I thought this was pretty entertaining. I do not know much about hometown man. Y'all want hometown man fired. But y'all want hometown man not on the show anymore. I understand that. I don't know much about him. Y'all want him gone. I understand that.
All you need to know is that he's a hometown man.
Some few people in this match. I'm not gonna hold you. They would have got that briefcase. I said fired. I would have been like, I wouldn't have complained if they got that briefcase. I'm not gonna hold you, but I really hope Steve Macklin. I really hope he don't. I really hope Steve Macklin ain't getting that pink slip. I would hate to see Steve Macklin leave. He's such a solid dude, man. And the fact that he never had another reign as world champion boggles my mind. Like, it boggles my mind that they never put the TNA title back on him. Because I like Steve Macklin. So, Bert, I hope they don't fire your cousin, man. Bert, I'm rooting for you. I hope they don't fire your cousin, Bert. I really hope they don't.
Yeah, definitely. What about you?
I'm actually watching some highlights of it. I thought it was a fun concept. It's always nice when TNA can always give some nostalgia concepts. Like at least shows us they're not fully changed. They didn't fully change themselves, so to speak. So like when I heard Feast or Fire was coming back, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, nice nostalgia. And then also on the plus side, well, apparently someone's getting fired, which is ironic because we're losing talents right now at the moment, so to speak. But I thought it was fun. The recipients are pretty interesting, like EY, Eddie, Trey, and Macklin, as we mentioned. I'm with you guys. I think the world Macklin, he's a very talented guy. Based on what I'm hearing, I really hope it's not what it actually is.
Don't drink.
I'm just gonna keep a positive note until next week. Like a positive mind until next week. But if out of the four, obviously it can't be Eddie. Trey just got back. Maybe EY. I mean, when you really think of it, it's kind of full circle for us OG fans. Remember the Don't Fire Eric, exactly, Bert. I mean, exactly, Lucha. Yeah, the Don't Fire Eric and all that stuff. It will kind of come full circle, so to speak. And I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't mind if it was just all a ruse. Whoever gets the fire briefcase ends up actually coming back as a swerve. Because you have the suits, Daria Ray, who's kind of apparently trying to go over Santino's head and stuff. She can basically reverse this and saying this is a foolish concept. No offense. Santino shouldn't have booked this and then reverse there's a lot of things, so to speak. But
I'll be the biggest Sonya Deville fan if she did that, boy. I'll be the biggest Sonya Deville fan if she did that. If that briefcase said Steve Macklin, Sonya Deville looked at Santina Morella like. Sonya Deville looked at Santina Morella like,
yeah.
she
would be a baby face over right there.
Fuck, boy. Hey, Sonya Deville.
Whoa.
Macklin. Hey, and you look at Santino next week like you is one dumbass motherfucker. He ain't going nowhere. Hey, Sonya Deville, I will buy your merch. So I will be happy as hey, strike the bet on Sonya Deville if she do that next week. My bad. My bad. Hey, yo, go.
Let's hold on now. If Daria Ray decides to reverse the decision, if Steve Macklin gets the fire case, right? If she decides to reverse the decision to reverse Santino's foolishness, wouldn't they also have to reverse everybody else, therefore making all 4 cases null and void, and we're doing all this for no reason? We gotta have some integrity. We gotta have some integrity to the system, brother. We gotta have some integrity.
No. It's just if Steve Macklin gets the fight briefcase. We only doing it if Steve Macklin gets the fight briefcase.
That's not fair.
If Steve Macklin don't get the fight briefcase and they go to like hometown man or something, and they go to hometown man or something, TNA, y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want. But we only doing this if that briefcase go to Steve Macklin. That's the only way we doing it. Outside of that, I'm a fan of continuity and things making sense too. But this is one of them things I can overlook. I can overlook one of these things. I can overlook it.
Lucha. This, I mean, when you think about it, it's not the first time someone kind of got away from fired. Eli Drake, as we know, LA Knights, we pulled a switcheroo back in 2016. So like Grado, we all remember like Grado got fired, but when it turns out Eli Drake actually switched his briefcases.
Hey, it's all about
they didn't punish Eli. I'm like, huh?
You just gotta make it to the finish line.
They didn't. What's that again?
You just gotta make it to the finish line. You know what I'm saying? And Eli Drake, he made it to the finish line. It's not my fault. It's not his fault that, you know, he had a brain and knew that Grado was terrible at playing case defense. Like, come on now, you should know better than that. Like, you should know better. Like, you gotta
don't hate the player. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. That's all it is.
Boom. And it's crazy. It's crazy. My man said Cam country as fuck. This motherfucker is legit like 45 minutes to an hour down the street from me.
Oh wow, okay.
You in Chapel Hill, right, Cam?
I'm in Charlotte. I moved to Charlotte.
Oh, you're in Charlotte. Okay. Well, shit. Okay, 3 hours, whatever. But it's Carolina boys, man. That's how we roll. And what's my man name? Matthew. We had Feaster fired like 21, 22, something like that, when Yuya Uemura got fired.
Yeah, that's right. All right, real quick, let's run down just our predictions for which case. I'll start with you. Who gets what case?
All right. Well, before I answer, according to Tom, the title shots are X Division, International, World title. So I'll say Trey gets the international shots. Eddie gets the X Division shots, I guess. And Macklin gets the world title shot. Actually, maybe switch it. Maybe I like to switch it. Macklin gets the X Division title shots because he was doing the X Division at one point. Eddie gets the world title shots. Trey gets the. Oh my god, this could actually go. This could actually go either way. All right. I'm ready. Trey international, Steve X Division, Eddie world title, EY. It's been real. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Lucia, you.
You caught me mid pull. To see the interesting thing, about Steve Macklin getting the X Division title shot and winning the X Division title, that'll then make him a triple crown because he will have held the international, the world, and then the X if he does cash in and win the X. So for the sake of history, I'm actually going to subscribe to that also. I'm going to say Steve Macklin's getting the X. Your cousin's not getting fired, Bert. You can calm down. Trey's getting the international because I feel like we're gonna like completely pivot from the whole Stacks being an international champ and that whole thing. That whole segment was weird too. Not to like skip ahead or whatever, but that Ariana and Santino thing was a little weird because the whole time I'm just like, yo, this is all cap. But they never got to the reveal, so I'm like, is this a long burn or is this legit? But anyway, I'm saying Trey gets the international, Eddie gets the world, and EY gets fired. But I don't think he's getting fired. I don't think he's like gone. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and Cam, what do you think?
I think Eddie gets the world title shot because after the closing segment tonight, I think Eddie Edwards is probably going to be positioned as the number one contender for Mike Santana's title. He better not win the fucking thing, but I think he better not win the fucking title.
That's going to be a good match.
I think he's going to be set up as the number one contender following the closing segment. So I have Eddie Edwards getting the world title. Trey Miguel, I think it's the international title. Please take that championship off Stacks. Please take that championship off Stacks. Please do. I don't want to see Stacks on NXT television. Why do you think I want to see him on TNA television? Please get that championship off Stacks. Please do. So I think Trey gets the international. I think Steve Macklin gets the X Division title shot. And Eric Young, it's been nice knowing you, buddy.
Bro, imagine if we all got this right next week. I'm like, man, like that's
Well,
like,
real quick,
we all got to give ourselves a pat on the back there. Like, if we all got that right next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm going with obviously EY being fired. I know I said that I didn't want to see Trey in the X Division again, but I do think he gets that briefcase just because I think it would be a good match with him and Leon. I could see him taking that off. I think that Steve Macklin gets the international the world title shot. And I think Eddie gets the international title shot because if he wins that, I believe that will make him a Triple Crown champion in TNA, or will that make him a Grand Slam champion?
I think Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
And so, that's one more accolade for the guy who's going to walk right into the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. So I think that would be good. And I think even though it would be kind of heel versus heel with him and Stacks, I think that someone will have already beaten Stacks by that time. I don't think they're going to just, you know what I mean, immediately go into that match. So
I hope somebody.
Yeah, that's
please somebody beats. I hope somebody. Please somebody beats Stacks. Please. They can pick a fan out of the crowd and have them beat Stacks. I hope somebody beats him, please. Somebody please beat Stacks. Ariana can stay. Ariana can stay. But Stacks, you got to go, buddy. Buddy, you got to go. You get Stacks up out of there.
Eddie Edwards is currently a Triple Crown, and he's actually the first person to win both the TNA and Ring of Honor Triple Crown.
Okay. So he would be a Grand Slam champion, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, but I definitely think that we've kind of we're all on the same page, and I definitely could see you guys, all three of you being right. I think we all can agree. I think this is Eric Young's time. But again, he will be back. They can't get rid of this man. He'll have some sort of a gimmick. I think it will definitely be better than Hometown Man. But Eric Young will come back. Hopefully it is with the cleanse. So that storyline does need to progress. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to kind of like a little bit of a few segments. First, we had Nick Nemeth kind of taunting Mike Santana backstage. And this led to a little bit of a scuffle. You know, Nemeth said something about Mike's daughter that usually will set him off. We kind of saw a little bit of a pull apart. But that then led to, and I'm just bringing up both segments, and we can all get your guys' opinion on both. We led to Nick Nemeth, and I had mentioned on my Twitter or X or whatever that Nemeth kind of pulling a Mark Calloway Undertaker. He walks into BDE and a few people playing video games, and he's not having that. You know what I mean? The older wrestlers, that seems to be a trigger for them. And I'm glad we're getting BDE versus Nemeth next week, just because one, I like when we get follow-ups on storylines so quickly, and two, I'm more happy every time I watch BD because I just think that he kind of nailed it when he said that he paid his dues to be there. This isn't some guy who's just there for, you know what I mean, just there for clout, or he's not there to pop a rating, or we're not there just to try to get different eyes. This guy wants to be a wrestler. So I'll start with you. What'd you think about both these segments?
Yeah, these were very good. As we were building along with the storytelling. I agree. I like that they're announcing matches for next week. Helps give viewers a reason to tune in. I'm glad they're actually. Yeah, I knew they were gonna continue the feud going between Santana and Nemeth. I feel like nothing against Frankie. It felt like this is the one that folks wanted to see, the feud between these two in particular, and got off to like it got off to a rocker with once soon as he mentioned his daughter, and then they both had to be pulled apart and stuff, and then of course later Nemeth playing the whole Undertaker veteran role, saying like, you guys didn't see what went down, you're just sitting there playing video games and and stuff, and shout out to BDE too, standing his ground, bowing up to a guy like Nemeth. So I'm very interested into next week. And I know folks kind of, to those who might be on a little upside on why they signed him. He has a good following. BDE. He has a good following. He knows he's very good with content, as you guys, as my friends here too, including you, Lucha. So you can understand, how this is very big for TNA to kind of branch that content into what they're doing. As was announced earlier in the week, that they're allowing more of their content to content creators. So TNA, they know what they're doing, especially with BD, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this match with Nemeth next week.
Real quick before I let you guys go, do you remember that promo, Lucha and Io and Cam, from back in the day? Or Cam, I don't know if you remember, but they go to Chris Sabin and he just cut half of the dimensions. He's trying to get a high score on God of War. Is that what he said? Do you remember that promo? Chris Sabin's like, I'm just playing, or maybe it was Alex Shelley, but he just like, I'm just playing God of War. Do you guys remember that promo? Did that ring a bell?
Oh, was that when they were at commentary, being?
I think maybe. I think so.
It was like 2009 or something, and where their gimmick was pretty much them being in the back bitching that they're not on TV.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. It was hilarious. But what
reading Game Informer and shit.
Yeah. Cam, I'll start with you. What'd you think about this just these two quick segments?
All right. First off, hey, you heard me talking in your segment. I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute. I got a phone call, so
no worries.
No, sorry. Secondly, one thing that I think would have been beneficial tonight for TNA is that I think they should have ran a video package for BDE. I think they should have ran a video package for BDE. I have people. I have friends who stopped watching wrestling a long time ago, but they know who BDE is and his content, and they know who BDE is and his content. So I think it would have been beneficial for TNA to run a video package on BDE. Be like, hey man, the guy that's on YouTube, the guy that makes YouTube content, he actually wrestles. He's actually a professional wrestler, and you show some highlights of him doing indie matches and him in previous matches he's had in TNA. I think That's something I think they dropped the ball on here. I think that could have been a. I think that could have been a. I think they should have showed a video package for him. I think that would have been very beneficial. I think it would have been very beneficial for them to show a video package of BDE. Get some casual, get some casual fans in there. Like, oh shit, BDE here. All right. Oh shit, BDE. Okay, I'll check out his match next week. So I think that would have been beneficial for them. But
For sure.
outside of that, I thought the segment was fine. So BDE and Nick Nemeth next week, which is going to be a win for Nemeth, and Nemeth is probably the best person for BDE to be in there with because Nick Nemeth is going to make BDE look good. Nick Nemeth is going to go in there, he's going to bump his ass off for him, make him look good, and then he's going to beat him. So really good.
Yeah.
So good first opponent for BDE to be in there with. Yeah, so good first opponent for BDE to be in there with, and again, it's going to be a win for Nemeth. So there you go.
What about you, Lucha?
It's gonna be a really damn good match. I'm not gonna lie to you, just because. I mean, in the little bit that we've seen from BDE and TNA, he's shown that he's really athletic. He's actually like taking this seriously. And then Nick Nemeth damn near can get a good match out of a brown paper bag, if we're being honest. So those two things together is making for a good combination. I'm hyped for the match. I always kind of like. I look at BDE and TNA. They want to say TNA is WWE light, so you have to have like light people in TNA, and it's like it's easy to put BDE in the Logan Paul like category, and that's not even a knock because Logan Paul's killing it in WWE. So like BDE coming from the social media, the influencer background, transitioning into wrestling and actually killing it. You know what I'm saying? It's that's not bad company to be in. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one for sure. I'm hyped for it next week.
Definitely. Next we're gonna move into, and it's not like I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to talk about that main event because since the show ended, I kind of wanted to. I could spend a whole. I'm not main event, but I could spend a whole show talking about what transpired after. But we just got a quick Elena Black promo, the former Cora Jade from NXT. I do think while I wasn't the biggest fan of this promo, not to say it was bad, I definitely think that her upside in TNA, I definitely think it's pretty high. Just because I think that I know she's got a little bit of injury history. I just think it's going to be beneficial for her being in a place like TNA. I think it's a perfect marriage. But what about you, Io? What did you think about this promo?
I mean, I didn't really think much. It's just kind of her kind of being like, basically just kind of like, just kind of like, bragging about herself, and and stuff, and like, going at, like, she wants to go after the Knockouts title and stuff. Honestly, I'll be honest. When it was announced that she was coming in, it just kind of felt like out of nowhere because here's someone that just kind of like who said like, it's funny. It wasn't that long ago. She was just bragging about like, she'd made more money on OnlyFans than like she was on her NXT deal and and stuff. And like, what I'm saying? One thing, well, then you should have no. Well, then you should be all said and done and stuff. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I'm trying to see like where she fit in right now because we have like a talented division and we already have some top heels right now in Danny Luna and Tessa Blanchard and
that's true
and the Elegance brand too and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where Elena fits in. But to add in with the whole Danny Luna situation, I guess she's kind of like a filler, Elena, so to speak. Or I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, right now. The good things in the division so stacked. So like, yeah, we'll see what's. But I thought it was a decent promo. Not really much into it.
What about you guys? I'll start with you, Lucha.
See, my only issue coming out of the other side of this promo was like looking at the roster is like who's she gonna go against other than I don't know how I lost her name. Jody Threat. Like as far as faces, I mean you got your world champ and her tag partner consumed in another rivalry with the Elegance brand. And then you just got a bunch of heels for the most part. Another one being her. So it's like it's just seeing who she's gonna match up with every week is gonna be interesting. And then it's kind of making you gotta look at the chances that Ash does win. Like it kind of makes you think that Ash isn't gonna win if she's going for the strap because you're building another heel that you just signed to come through. So she's gonna have a title shot at some point soon. So and then you got another heel that's not even here right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff's looking a little thin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's a good point as well.
Yeah, that's really the only thought I have. Other than that, as respectful as possible, I didn't think anything about that promo.
Cam, what about you?
No disrespect to Elena Black. No disrespect to Elena Black. I met Elena. I got a photo with Elena Black at WrestleGate, and she's a very, very nice person. She's a very, very nice person. And I, for one, will never complain about seeing Elena Black on my TV. What I will complain, I for one will never complain about seeing Elena Black on my TV because Elena Black is very. I'll just leave it at that. Elena Black is a very attractive lady. She's a very attractive lady. So I would never complain about seeing her on my TV. Where this, I hope it can work out for TNA. I hope TNA is able to. I hope she's able to have more success in TNA than she was in than she had in NXT. Because it definitely seemed like she should have done more in NXT. Like when she got released, that was one of the names that shocked me just because of how young she is and the fact that she does. She does come off as a star. I will say that. She does come off as a star. So, no respect. So, that being said, though, Elena Black wrestling for the Knockouts World Championship, I'm sorry, I just have no interest in it. But hopefully she can prove me wrong. That's all I'm asking. Prove me wrong, Elena. Prove me wrong. Maybe she goes in there and she has some really, really good matches. Maybe she goes in there and she has some really, really good matches. Maybe she does. So I'm rooting for her in TNA. I hope she's able to have some success in TNA. But Elena Black being positioned as a contender in the Knockouts division, I'm cool on.
Well, she has a year deal apparently, accordingly. So we're just gonna have to see if she's even how much can she contribute, or she's basically because she kind of has to prove herself because she's been kind of injury prone. No offense to her, in her NXT run for most of her NXT run, she was kind of injury prone. So
I do like the signing though by TNA. I do like the signing by TNA of Elena Black. She's somebody who, because again, I like the signing primarily because of age. She's 25 years old, so she's 25 years. It's not like they're signing somebody who's it's not like they're signing somebody who's 35 and you know what she is.
Exactly.
She's 25 years old, so she has all the room in the room. She's 25 years old, and I think a lot of people forget because we have a lot of wrestlers that come in. But because we have a lot of wrestlers that come in and they're really good out the gate. Like Javon Evans is only 21 years old and he's really good. People like Jordan Oliver, who I'm not sure what he is. I'm sure I think he's in his early 20s. People like Jordan Oliver, people like that. Tyler Bate, for example, came in at 20. Tyler Bate was like, Tyler Bate came in at 19 years old. I was like, I'm better than half this roster here. So like, I think people forget because we do have a lot of people in wrestling that are really young and really, really good. That's not the norm. She's only 25 years old, so I'm not trying to say this is who she'll be for the rest of her career. Because who knows, maybe she'll get really good. I'm sure there are a lot of wrestlers. I can't think of any right now. But I'm sure there are a lot of wrestlers who start out like, damn, man, this dude sucks. What? This dude ain't it. And then, as they got, as they got older, they improved. And it's like, that dude's pretty good. He's serviceable. So, again, I'm rooting for Atlanta Black. Hopefully she can be that. But right now, based off her recent history, not really. And based off her recent history, she doesn't really do anything for me. But hopefully she's able to prove some people wrong in TNA. Hopefully she's able to have a good run in TNA. I'm rooting for her. I'm rooting for her. I know. It might not sound like it, but I'm rooting for Atlanta Black. So there you go.
We all just hope for the best, and hopefully they get the most out of the signing. Again, like I said, she has a year on this deal. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's move on to, and I'm not in no way, shape, or form saying the post segment took away from this match because it happened after. But this main event was incredible. Jeff Hardy still being able to move pretty well at his age. It's awesome to see. We had Jeff Hardy taking on Mustafa Ali. Man, this match. There's just so many things and so many moments in this match that stuck out to me, especially just the continuation of kind of like the Order 4 working as one unit in terms of trying to help Ali get the win. I think every member got involved at one point. I was laughing a lot at one point during this match. Matthew Rarewalt, I think he called Matt Hardy a charlatan. I haven't heard that word in a while. I haven't heard that in wrestling, certainly, in a wrestling match in a while. But man, this was a banger. But what do you think about this one? I'll start with you.
Yeah, this is a great way to kind of put a cap on this fun episode, having Jeff Hardy main event, and Mustafa who's been on having a great run last year and the year after. I wouldn't say I'm surprised by the finish, obviously, because Mustafa, he needs his Order 4 to kind of help him get the advantage, but thankfully the Hardys were kind of we're too smart to kind of diffuse that, and then Jeff getting the win. This was a great match. Two guys who are very different. Mustafa again, who's you put him with anyone, he's gonna put on a good performance and stuff. And Jeff Hardy being the the charismatic enigma and stuff. The rock stars, everyone get pumped when the music plays, and there's not a person who was quiet throughout the match, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, he was really good. Order 4 got involved obviously and stuff. Matt was there to kind of help his brother, and
What about you, Lucha? What'd you think about this one?
This match was every bit of good I thought it would be, and a little bit more, both from a action and just a vibe standpoint. You want to talk about how we started the show with that fast pace, old school TNA action. We for sure ended it on that same note with these two cats. God, that was just such a great match. I was actually surprised Jeff got the dub, but then again, I wasn't, because it's fucking Jeff Hardy. And I do love how Elias came through in the end with the guitar and kind of did his whole thing. Just that simple strum of the guitar note is just enough to kind of perk you up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the Undertaker gong, so to speak.
Yeah, a little bit. It's boom. Oh shit. I don't know how I feel about them calling him the Notorious Attraction, though. I'm gonna sit with it and see where they're going with that. I'm not really rocking with it, but it's early. I think they started that last week, so it's still kind of fresh. Yeah, I think I went through everything now. That wonderful, fantastic. I need more. That there is total nonstop action. Though I'm not about to end without talking about that swanton on the steps. That swanton on the not the swanton. I'm sorry, the twist of fate on the steps. That shit was crazy. Like Jeff and Ali, they were for sure working.
Jeff Hardy did 48. I think it's 48. He did 47 to 48. He's somewhere up there. Jeff Hardy did 47, 48 years old. He's still taking some of the bumps he takes. Is absolutely crazy. He's still taking some of the bumps he takes. Is absolutely crazy to me. It is absolutely crazy to me. But you know, I love Jeff Hardy. North Carolina legend. Carolina legend, Jeff Hardy, mind you. So you know, they're taking the bumps that he took in his but you know, I love. Look here. Hey, look here. Y'all are never ever gonna make me hate Jeff Hardy, okay? Y'all are never ever gonna make me hate Jeff Hardy ever. So I love Jeff Hardy. Anytime I get to see Jeff Hardy compete, especially at a high level like this, is good. You know, especially at a high level like this is good. I thought the match itself was really, really good. I wasn't a fan of the ending. I'm sorry, Elijah just does nothing. Elijah does not beat me at all. So I wasn't really happy to see him. But I wasn't really happy to see him. But outside of that, I thought it was a really good match. Yeah, I thought it was a really good main event. Exactly the kind of things that I would like to see from today a lot more of on the weekly television show. Matches like this. And Ali needs to be the one to be throwing Mike Santana for that work. It does not need to be anybody else. It does not need to be anybody else. Don't put the championship on the limit. Do not put it on Eddie Edwards. Do not put it on anybody else. If your name is Mustafa Ali, you should not be the one to be throwing Mike Santana for that world title. Mike Santana should lose that world title to Mustafa Ali. That should be the Slammiversary. That should be the Bound for Glory match if they're going to win. But you know, they can wait that long. But that should have bare minimum be Slammiversary. But I love the work Ali's been doing. Ali is great. So I love the work Ali's been doing. Ali is great. Really good, man.
I definitely think that the vision long term is to run back Ali versus Santana, and I would like to see Ali come out on top, just because to get his win back and just in the feud, but as well because I would like to see him become world champion. I think that's what's best for business. And let me just real quick finish and add to what you said, Lucha. That swanton at the end of the match looked brutal, man. Hardy's just looks like he's killing people with that move now, man.
Hardy don't give a fuck. Jeff Hardy don't give a fuck. Jeff Hardy don't give a fuck. He knows he's all in that swanton. He like it's time for this. It's time for this swanton. You gonna take this shit? He just hit.
And the Hardys continue to get the win. And I don't know who said it earlier, but these guys are. You put Jeff Hardy on a card, man. Yeah, the fans love him. The fans love the Hardys, man. So the pops they get, it still blows me away. Okay, last but not least, and I think people are going to be talking about this, especially in the TNA circle for a little bit going forward. We had the JDC retirement ceremony / announce a new member, and really I don't remember. And I don't know, and I think that's kind of a good thing because I think it was less. I'm sorry, I'm saying this. I think it's less about him and then what the events that transpired after. But we get revealed that the new member is Bear Bronson. To me, this came out of left field in a good way. I did not see this coming. On one hand, I'm very happy because I saw names speculated like Cardona before he signed with WWE, and then Taven, which I don't think that would have been good because I don't think Taven needs to be in a faction, especially just another guy in a faction. Bear Bronson to me really fits, and after he's announced, we see, like, which I can't believe, Eddie basically turns on JDC, and they all start attacking him, and I was like, whoa. And then after that, they go after Moose, and my jaw dropped because I'm like, oh shit, man, something's real big happening. Finally, we get Cedric coming out, who we think is going to help Moose. And he does the unthinkable, which, again, this is a bigger story. The first, he hits Moose with a chair, turns on him, and he joins the system. Man, this is like a system upgrade. It's like going from Windows 98 to Windows 2000 almost. You know, Windows, this is, the system just got younger, hungrier, but they still got like the two guys that you could argue were the catalysts the whole time. Like Moose was part of the original three, but Brian, you know, and Eddie were kind of like the ones that, you know, like the real, like, ones that were kind of leading it for especially Eddie. You know, I always looked at Eddie as the kind of the leader. But I'll start with you, man. What did you think about when you saw that? I was into this, man. This was good shit.
You know what? I'm gonna add to what you just say. Maybe they felt like, yeah, Eddie and Myers were the ones really carrying it, because you could say for some people they thought Moose was the leader, all like, you know, and like, you know, he's too busy showboating, like, you know, doing other things and stuff, and then like at least from what I can tell, I don't know, we're just gonna have to hear what their explanation is later. But yeah, going in, yeah, there were a lot of names. Taven, EC3, Cardona. I didn't really think Cardona, but Bear Bronson, yeah, that's a left field one. But I'm glad too. When I heard this was gonna be the ending of the show, I knew something was gonna happen. Like you don't just like have a segment like that's like revealing whoever it is without putting a little twist on it. Like I knew like the system were gonna go, someone or the group was gonna turn heels on it. That's like what happened. But yeah, I'm happy with this decision, Bear Bronson. And then the shocking, the low blow. What I didn't see coming is we're getting two members, and also Moose being kicked out. That was actually a shock. I don't think we all expect that either. And having Cedric joining in too. Like you said, Bert, like it's like a system upgrade, Windows 10 to Windows 11. Like that's kind of that's kind of basically how it is. Very interesting. Like they just kind of really, as great as dominant the system was, like they just kind of like gave it like a nice energy booster, so to speak, because now you have younger talent mixed in with the younger talent mixed in with the veterans. Like that's kind of how that's what makes a good faction, in my opinion. Similar to like Evolution, you had the younger talents and the veteran talents all grouped together, and this is gonna help Bear Bronson, and also kind of help Cedric too, like as far as his place here on the roster. So
it's just like another thing that they're doing right with Bear Bronson. They didn't do with Jake. You know what I mean? Like they're putting Bear already in a dominant faction, or right after the last appearance we saw him, he took Frankie to the limit. So this is a very smart move. Cam, what about you? What'd you think about these two new additions, and what were you shocked?
I like the Bear Bronson signing. I like the Bear Bronson signing with TNA. You know, again, you know, TNA. I think TNA overall just badly needs an overall of the main event scene. Too long it's been the same people in there. You know, Eric Young, Eddie Edwards. You know, Eric Young, Eddie Edwards, Moose. I think it's been like that for too long. So I like them bringing in Bear Bronson. I think they need an overall of the main event scene. I'm willing to see. I'm willing to see what Bear Bronson can do with TNA. You know, I'm willing to see what he can do with TNA now that he's under contract there. And I knew Cedric was turned as soon as he came up. As soon as Cedric came up with that chant, the way he looked at moves, I was like, Cedric, you got to do it. I was like, he's about to do it. And then he did it. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. But y'all cannot fool me, bro. I've been watching wrestling for 20 years, 24. Y'all cannot fool me, bro. I know a turn when I see a turn. Y'all can't fool me. Only turn that got me recently was the Cena turn. Because I ain't want to believe it. I was like, damn, I should have saw that shit coming. I turn when I see a turn. But other than that, you know, I guess they're trying to make you care about the. I haven't cared about the system in a while. Is anything attached with Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers and Fandango? I just did not care for the long time. So you know they're trying to make the system relevant. So they're trying to make these guys. So they're trying to give people a reason to care about the system. Okay, I get where they're coming from. I thought this was a fine closing angle for next week. I thought this is a fine closing angle for next week, and there you go. So there you go. Eddie Edwards is going because I think Eddie Edwards got the world title briefcase. Eddie Edwards is going to get his match with Mike Santana, and Santana's going to have backup now with Moose and he's going to have backup now with Moose and somebody else. I don't know who, but he's going to have backup now. So there you go. I thought it was a fine closing angle, and they're trying to get people to care about the system again. Fine. But again, I haven't given a shit about the system in a long time. Anything with Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and JDC, I just tuned out. But again, I like the closing angle. But again, I like the closing angle for TNA. So overall, TNA, good episode.
What about you? Yeah. I I'm not going to say that I don't blame you a little bit. I thought the system was getting stale, but I definitely think that this adds some more juice, some extra juice to it. Now I'm definitely back interested. What about you, Lucha? What'd you think about this? Were you blown away? Were you what'd you think?
See, I'm a little disappointed because nobody brought up the real question coming out of this episode, and that's what's up with Lish. Because while this whole beatdown is happening, you got Lish over here screaming at Eddie, screaming at everybody like, yo, chill out, stop, what are y'all doing? Like, see, this is the part, like, because like Cam said, when Ced came out with the chair, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, well, here's the turn. So we know, I knew Ced was going Seth Rollins Moose in the back with the chair as soon as he came out. But the part where I'm kind of lost in my actual hook is what's up with Lish.
Mm-hmm.
And because it seems like Eddie's the ringleader behind this, so there can't be some real beef between Eddie and Lish. Like, you're not gonna break up the married couple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And I don't know why I forgot about that, but that's interesting because, yeah, that would be weird to break them up. And while it was weird for her reacting like that, just because, maybe she's more shocked, the original group's coming to an end. Yeah, I would not separate Eddie and Lish, but that definitely was a head scratcher when I saw her reacting like that. I thought she would have rolled with the group, you know what I mean? Like, or she would have been at least privy to this plan. You know what I mean? It's almost like she didn't know that they were going to do that, which I'm a little shocked.
I think it adds a little twist because, it's because it shows like this hasn't been discussed by all the members. Obviously, like Moose wasn't in on it. Now Alicia wasn't in on. JDC wasn't in. Of course, he wasn't in. But like, it just kind of adds a little twist. Like, how long has this been planning? Like, when has this been? Like it makes you want to tune in to what's next and all these kind of questions, so to speak. But yeah.
And let me just say, I'm more happy. Like I like Bear Bronson in this, but I'm more happy for Cedric just because it just makes me think that they're like, it wasn't like he was lost and it's not like they weren't doing it with him. He was going to get an X Division title shot. I think he still is. He had plenty of opportunities. It's just this feels like they're really getting behind him. You know what I mean? They're putting him in a main event storyline. You know what I mean? Because you expect after this happens that they're not just gonna, go less with the system. Obviously, they have big plans for him again. They still have ideas that they're gonna fit a lot into the show. So yeah, I'm happy for Cedric. I think this is a really good, and like you said, the group is way more constructed now, like a faction. Let's be honest, the original system was a little bit older. Now you got the two veterans kind of, and with the two young guys in there that can kind of do their dirty work and stuff like that. Like it's way more constructed now, like a typical faction should be built. So,
And what's good
yeah,
is that all
it's much
all
better.
four of them are still very good wrestlers. So
Yes,
like they didn't just kind of like replace with washed ups or nothing. No offense, it's just like all four of them are good wrestlers. So I think you're gonna. It's kind of like it's like an upgrade. And yeah, I agree with you. I'm happy for Cedric too. At least this kind of like puts him in a gives him something new outside of doing wrestling
exactly.
matches.
And to Cam's point, I think what part of could be leading to like the system being bored in some people's eyes. And let me just say, I didn't think that they failed at being faces, but I think that they're more interesting as faces. You know what I mean? Like I don't think the system should be a face group. You know what I mean? Like even though like now there's a shit ton of heels, they work much better as heels, especially. And I think Eddie's going to be better in that role too. That's just my opinion, but you know what I mean? I definitely agree with you, though. They were getting stale. So I definitely think this adds a little bit of, a little juice to this now where the system seemed like they were on their way out. No, I think that they're, I think they're here to stay for at least a little bit. But overall, guys, what'd you think about this show as a whole?
I thought it was a lot better than much better than last week's show. Much better than last week's show. Again, some things that I would have liked to I talked about some things that I would have liked to see on here. Some things that I thought were missed opportunities by TNA. But overall, this is a better effort than last. But overall, this is a better effort than last week. But overall, this is a much better effort than last week, and hopefully we can get the weekly TV going. Because again, I think I said a comment in the chat. I was like, why are the TNA pay-per-views very, very good, but the weekly TV is like, yeah. So like, hopefully this is the first step of hopefully this is the first step of them changing that. And more matches like Ali and Hardy. More matches like that. Please, TNA. More matches like that. More matches like Ali and Hardy on weekly TV and I think we'll be cooking. But overall, I thought this was a good show. They did enough to keep me entertained, which is all I asked for. Do enough to keep me entertained. Do enough to keep me interested, which is all I asked for with any wrestling show I watch. So overall, good stuff, man.
What about you, Lucha? What'd you think about this?
Damn good show as a whole. I mean, every match pretty much delivered for me. Even, I guess you could say, the weaker match being Indy versus M. Indy versus M. Also, it ended with an angle. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just like a pointless match for the sake of a pointless match. We got something out of that. So it's from a in-ring perspective, every match delivered to me. That's what I want on I would like more of this on my TNA television every week. For sure, step in the right direction. It does kind of feel like they actually have a direction. So I'm a little more calm. I'm not standing on the edge like a bunch of people were last week, all doom and gloom off this one show. Yeah, the show wasn't that great, but it's just the first show. It's just one show. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm down. Enjoy it. I will say this. It was a little worrying that we had two rather major swerves with the system upgrade, as I'm now dubbing it, and the whole Ash swerve with her going where she did it and coming back. So I am a little nervous that we're gonna start depending a lot on multiple swerves. I felt like a lot of the same tropes that wrestling booking does, TNA repeats them a lot. Like, I'm talking like in the same episode, like you'll have two matches with ref bumps. It's like, come on now, that's supposed to be like You just had one in the opener, and now we're saying we got another ref bump. Like, come on now, let's.
Wrestling companies do that, bro. They do that bullshit. I hate wrestling. They do that bullshit back to back, bro. It's like you have one match ending a roll up, and then like the exact same match will end with the exact same roll up. It's like, bro,
that happened tonight. That happened tonight with Ced and Moose, and then I believe it was the knockouts.
Indy roll up.
We had back to back. We had 2 roll up wins. We had 2 swerves. So, like, you know, while it was a great show and the execution and everything kind of made up for the fact that you're still doing that stuff, I would like to see a little more creativity coming out of them moving forward. But
Cedric,
you said what?
I was gonna say, to your point real quick about this too many swerves, I wouldn't be too worried. I don't think Russo's currently working there, so I wouldn't be worried about.
Good. He better not be. He better not be. He better not be Russo. He better not.
Obviously the swerve playbook, everyone goes to that well, and I agree with you. It's gonna be a roll.
Russo better not be that. I hope TNA fought a restraining order against Vince Russo. Vince Russo is not allowed within 1,000 feet of anything TNA related. I hope they fought a restraining order. I hope they did. Hey, Carlos Silva, file that restraining order, man. Just go ahead and send it over to his house. Go ahead and send it over to his house, wherever he lives in Colorado. Just go ahead and send it over. Hey, Vince Russo, you cannot come within 1,000 feet of any TNA show. I don't even want you near the TNA talent, bro. If you got some TNA t-shirts at the crib, go ahead and get them out the house, bro. Anything TNA related, I don't want you anything there. TNA t-shirts, TNA t-shirts, TNA houses, anything TNA related, I don't want you near. Shit, send that restraining order over now. I'm serious. Russo should come anywhere near this company again, man. And send that shit to Eric Bischoff too. Send it to Bischoff too. Send it to Russo, send it to Bischoff. You just go ahead and get that out the way. Go ahead and send it to him. Oh, my bad.
Io, what about you? What did you think about the show overall?
Yeah, I'll say definitely an improvement from last week. They just need to be themselves. TNA, like what made you guys stand out in the first place? Be TNA, and I know like a lot of some have been saying like they've been kind of WWE lights or so to speak. They should be in their best interest to kind of like be themselves. And yeah, I say whoever's in charge of creative, like whatever or not, like gotta, especially the way things are, you gotta be more creative. Like especially if we're gonna like edge our niche here, especially build our own audience. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next week and the following weeks after that. Yeah, definitely. Definitely an improvement. Yeah, be more creative and yeah. I thought honestly, yeah, these last few days, have been kind of stressful for me. Obviously, because we all love this brand. I mean, obviously, what we're here is just kind of like, man, so much. Honestly, I'm kind of glad the pressure's kind of off. Usually, because I know I can understand their case, like, the debuts, so much pressure, then a lot of things didn't go according to plan. Now, at least that's how the picture they're finally on AMC. Now they can start. Because sometimes, as a saying, like, and I know, like, we're all sports fans, we can relate. Like, sometimes you got to fail to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, sometimes, like, you just got to accept a couple losses, eat a lot of crow before, learn how to get back on your feet. And, TNA is no stranger to that. So now that they finally got where they are, and then, they see where they are in the pecking order, now it's just, being more creative and trying stuff different. So tonight was that, and then hopefully that trend continues.
Definitely. I think
and one more thing, to Shane, Zach, Delirious, and Tommy. Well, Tommy can stay because he's talent relation. Delirious is Delirious is the one that we gotta do an observation or whatnot or some sort. At least, if I was in charge or whatnot, observation or whatnot. So
like if this was like the NFL or the NBA or any baseball or whatever, I would look at Delirious as a coach on the hot seat this year. Like unless he, nothing short of like making the Super Bowl, making the championship, I would get rid of him. You know what I mean? So like unless he comes,
Delirious, you better make the plan, buddy. You better make the plan. You better make
yeah,
the plan. If you don't make the plan, you's gone. You better make the plan. Get a coach in there, do something. Hey, look at Delirious, buddy. You better make the plan. And the new offensive system, get a new defensive system in here. Maybe work on them maybe work on them rotations. The players out there that ain't contributing, maybe take them out the rotation. Put in some new, put in some young guys that gonna give you some energy or something. I don't know. But hey, look here, if y'all make the play-in, buddy, you got to go. And tell that to Tommy Dreamer too. Hey, look at your assistant over there. Playing. Be a playing team this year. If y'all don't make the play, y'all got to go.
I agree. Yeah. Again, they need
What
to. I would even say again one step further. Like I said, like I'm not saying that they got to win the championship, but he really needs to come up with something that blows me away. Besides, like I'm not saying he came up with this just recycling storylines. For example, it was wash, rinse, repeat with the Santana, and Josh Alexander storyline. They were very similar in terms of losing the title and having a journey to get it back. With that being said, I want to thank you guys all for joining me. What a great show tonight. I want to thank our two special guests, Cam. I want to thank Lucha. You guys have been great. I want to thank Io as always. He's here each and every week with me. We're reviewing TNA, giving you everything TNA. We're trying to do our best to cover TNA for you guys. I want to make sure you guys like and subscribe this video. Subscribe to Bodyslam to get notified whenever we go live, whenever one of the many great people at Bodyslam go live. And with that being said, have a great night, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Peace.
All right, bro.